Alrighty. Now this is the cherry tomato. So check it out. Right here. These lower leaves. Check it out. See this? Okay, see this? See this one here is not needed. This one here can be propagated into a new plant. This here the one that you can propagate into a new plant will also produce fruit. This here really has no reason to be here. Therefore, you can cut it off. By cutting this off, it will start to grow. It will start to focus. When the water comes in, it'll start to focus on the most important part, which is right now is growing bigger. So we want all the energy to go into this stem and these top leaves up here. So like I said, this little guy, I'm gonna let it grow a little bit longer. But once that one grows, propagate it into a brand new plant by cutting it off right here and putting it into some water. I already did this to another plant. This plant can be propagated. Now, check it out. See this one right here? We're gonna cut one more. I recommend doing two every week. Try to cut two things off every week. This one right here there's absolutely no reason for it to be there. It's got no work. Its job, there's no job for that one. This is not needed at all. Now this plant is gonna grow a little bit faster. It's gonna grow stronger. And yeah, if there was fruit right now, I would cut the fruit off, which this one over here has fruit. Let me grab it. Okay, this is a fruited plant. Okay, so here we go again. This bottom leaf right here, see? Not necessary. This is all kale. I went and planted a bunch of kale. I had like 1,000 seeds I had to plant, so I just threw them in here. That's what this is, kale. It's a good idea. Kale grows big, so actually I'm not gonna leave it in here. I'm gonna take it out, plant it somewhere else. But it's a good idea to actually plant some herbs in here too. Some thyme, some rosemary, stuff like that. So we're gonna cut this one. See, one. The second one can be propagated into a new plant. It's too small right now. And this is the main stem. So we can cut this one off. It's recommended to cut it off to produce a bigger plant. Same with this. This has no reason to be here. This is actually going to be propagated. Should propagate that, but we'll leave it. We'll double this one up. This right here has no reason to be here, but my rule, I do 2 at a time. I cut two things off at a time. 2 unnecessary things at a time. So if this was bigger, I'd go ahead and make that cutting. So it'd be 3 cuttings, 1, 2, and 3. But I call this a necessary cut. An unnecessary cut is something that I'm gonna throw away. A necessary cut, something I can propagate. My terms, my dictionary. So with this side over here, I'm just gonna. This is a new plant. This had a leaf down here, so let me show you. Let's just pretend this was right here. This was here last week. I cut this off. This is the same thing as this. This here can be propagated and it will root into a new plant. So we're going to cut that off right there. And that can go into water. If you have rooting hormone, dip it in rooting hormone, the water. And that is going to be a new plant. Now up here, same with this. See, 1, 2, 3. 1 being unnecessary, 2 meaning necessary, and 3 meaning necessary because it's the root. So you don't want. So we're gonna cut this off. Unnecessary. This is gonna be a new plant. This is the main stem. So we're gonna let this grow a little bit bigger until we propagate it. Now, going on a little higher on this plant, we have flowers, blooms, which is gonna be fruit. This plant is too small. We want it to grow as big as possible. So, therefore, with that being said, we're cutting the fruit off. If you were to leave this on the plant, all the water, all the energy would be going to these blooms, focusing only on this fruit. Therefore, this plant will probably not grow too much bigger. So therefore, you cut it off. Now, this plant is going to grow a lot bigger. And let's go ahead and cut this off. This is unnecessary. Right here. This is an absolutely unnecessary piece right here. Cut that off. Yeah, the plant looks small now, but you know what? It's gonna grow to be very, 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 very healthy. It's time for a tomato cage now. I'm gonna put a tomato cage around that, and yeah, that plant, we'll check back on it in a little. Thank you. Subscribe, like, say what's good. Thank you. Have a great one.